Weekly Summary of the Presidency of the Libyan Government. The General Commander of the Armed Forces, Field Marshal Khalifa Haftar, inaugurates the main administration building and main gate of Benghazi University, accompanied by Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad. First Deputy Speaker of the House, Mr. Fawzi Nweri. Second Deputy Speaker, Mr. Musbah Doma. Members of the House of Representatives, Head of the Reconstruction and Stability Committee, Mr. Hatem Al-Aribi. Committee members, Mr. Abdurrahman Zaid and Mr. Faraj Gaim, and various government ministers. Also present are University of Benghazi Board Chairman Dr. Azzuddin Idrisi, Engineer Bilgasim Haftar, and officials from military security and service sectors. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad, during the opening ceremony of Benghazi University's main administration building, emphasized that these achievements continue despite limited resources. He underscored that these projects are executed without wasting public funds under the supervision of oversight bodies, all aimed at achieving a decent life for citizens. He commends the efforts of the General Command of the Armed Forces and the reconstruction of Benghazi University after years of war against the extremists who left unprecedented destruction in the university. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad mourns the passing of Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmad Al-Jabir Sabah, the late Prince of the State of Kuwait. May Allah's mercy and forgiveness be upon him. He wishes success to Crown Prince Sheikh Mash'al Ahmad Al-Jabir Sabah in continuing the legacy of giving. The Ministry of Health and the Libyan government initiates corneal transplant operations with Benghazi Teaching Eye Hospital and Ijdabiya Central Education Hospital. Minister of Social Affairs and the Libyan government, Mr. Mabrouk Ghaith, participates in the closing ceremony of the Benghazi Local Quran and Sunnah Memorization Competition. Minister of Water Resources in the Libyan government, Mr. Muhammad Doma, meets with mayors of Zuwaila and Nagatron to discuss the development of water resources and ensure their sustainability in both municipalities. Minister of Social Affairs, Mr. Mabrouk Ghaith, discusses social services in Bir Lashhab, Msaad, and Al-Jaghboub. Minister of Environment in the Libyan government, Mr. Muhammad Abdul Hafid, discusses in Sabha the problems arising from the leakage of sewage water into the city's reservoir. Minister of African Affairs, Mr. Isa Abdul Majid, visited the city of Merzuk to discuss all service-related updates. He was received by the city's residents, officials, and group of heads of security and military agency responsible for securing the city under the General Command of the Armed Forces. Minister of Education, Engineer Jamal Jadid, directs education and monitoring officials in the municipalities to take all necessary measures on the occasion of the World Arabic Language Day on December 18th. This includes implementing celebration in kindergartens and educational institutions within their jurisdictions. The Ministry of Water Resources delivers sewage lifting bumps to Sahel Benghazi and several other municipalities in Libya. A total of 49 bumps were handed over to 31 stations, including Obari Municipality, Zuwaila Municipality, Tajari Municipality, Qatroum Municipality, and the entire southern municipalities. Deputy Minister of Local Governors, Mr. Boubacar Zouai, discusses the latest service updates and compensation issues with the mayors of Shahat and Al-Gabba municipalities. Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Libyan government, Dr. Abdel Hadi Houij, meets with the Foreign Affairs and Retrieval of Looted and Concealed Funds Committee at the House of Representatives. The committee, appointed by the Prime Minister as a Bear Decision Number 171 for the year 2023, begins its task related receiving all assets and properties of the Great Man-Made River Authority. This includes obtaining all financial procedures of the authority, preparing a list of all obligations and rights, and completing the handover procedures. Deputy Minister of Local Governors, Mr. Boubacar Zouai, discusses cooperation prospects with the delegation from the United Nations High Commissioners for Refugees. The meeting involves the mayors of municipalities affected by floods in the eastern region last September. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, Mr. Ali Qulma, holds a serious meeting to address issues hindering to the tourism sector and discuss the latest preparation for the Ghat International Tourism Festival. Interior Minister General Assam Bouzeriba meets with the Director of Rubiana Security to enhance security and improve security services, also reviewing the Directorate's operational work. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad, accompanied by the Head of the Reconstruction and Stability Committee, Mr. Hatem Al-Aribi, and Engineer Bilgasim Haftar, inaugurates several service projects executed by the Reconstruction and Stability Committee in Tobruk. This includes the maintenance and development of the Eastern City's entrance and Tobruk International Airport Road, totaling 60 kilometers. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad, accompanied by the Head of the Reconstruction and Stability Committee, Mr. Hatem Al-Aribi, and Engineer Bilgasim Haftar, opens the internal main road from the Snainat intersection to Souk Al-Arab intersection, totaling 1.5 kilometers. After maintenance and improvement, the event is attended by Minister of Public Works, Engineer Nasser Sharhalban, and Chairman of the Steering Council of the Municipality of Tobruk, Mr. Faraj Bukhattabiya, along with city dignitaries and youth. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad, accompanied by the Chairman of the Reconstruction and Stability Committee, Mr. Hatem Al-Arabi, and Engineer Bilqasim Haftar, conducts an inspection visit to the headquarters of Tobruk municipalities. The visits aim to review the newly completed headquarters of the Tobruk municipalities, following the assumption of responsibility by the Municipal Council. The Prime Minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to support and funds various projects within the municipalities to provide optimal service to the city's residents and citizens. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad honored Sheikh Abdurrahman al-Sha'ri at his residence, recognizing his excellence in winning the Kuwait International Award for memorizing the entire Quran in the category of young readers. The ceremony is attended by the head of the Reconstruction and Stability Committee, Mr. Hatem Al-Arabi, and Engineer Bilqasim Haftar. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad, accompanied by the head of the Reconstruction and Stability Committee, Mr. Hatem Al-Arabi, and Engineer Bilqasim Haftar, conducts an inspection visit to the public housing projects at the western entrance of Derna city. The visit aims to monitoring the latest developments in the ongoing works which are part of the Derna Reconstruction Fund for the affected areas. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad, along with the head of the Reconstruction and Stability Committee, Mr. Hatem Al-Arabi, and Engineer Bilqasim Haftar, visit the Lu'lu'a Hotel in Derna to follow up on the latest developments regarding ongoing works. They discussed the procedures for dispersing financial compensation to those affected by Storm Daniel, based on the list provided by committees after through verification and sorting. The Compensation Committee, represented by Mr. Bubakar Al-Zuwai, the Deputy General of the Ministry of Local Governance, holds a meeting with General Jamal Al-Ammami in Derna. The meeting focused on coordinating with engineers to implement system for inventory compensation and financial auditing. The Libyan Media Corporation provides financial support and media coverage team for the Ghat International Tourism Festival, in accordance with the directives of the Prime Minister of the Libyan government, Dr. Osama Hamad. Prime Minister Dr. Osama Hamad conducts an inspection tour to assess the progress of maintenance and completion of 2,000 housing units, Korean buildings, at the western entrance of Derna. He is accompanied by the head of the Reconstruction and Stability Committee, Mr. Hatem Al-Arabi, Engineer Bilqasim Haftar, and members of the Derna Reconstruction Fund for affected cities and regions.